Hey guys, how are you doing? Here we are on Tuesday as always. Today, this week, we're here with a full moon. So happy full moon to all of you. Full moon in the sign of Aquarius. Full moon was at 9 degrees of Aquarius this afternoon. Moon has moved just a little bit beyond that. I think we're at maybe 11, 12 degrees, something like that right now. But full moon energy still definitely in the works. I hear 3 days before and 3 days after. I kind of like the day before, the day of, and the day after. Nothing wrong with adding some space on either way, but yeah, that's just my own thing. If you care to know what I have to say. So, full moon today at 9 degrees of Aquarius. And we have our intention for this week. You can see that here if you haven't seen that already. I give myself space to strategize, plan, and prepare. I give myself space to strategize, plan, and prepare. We've talked a lot about moving forward lately. We've talked a lot about love for ourselves and love for others, compassion, kindness, passion and compassion at the same time, balancing those two things. But we haven't talked a whole lot about like planning, right? And I feel like the energy this week really kind of plays on that. And once the intention formed, it was kind of like, yeah, I guess we really haven't had one geared quite this way in a while. So thank you, universe, for letting us see what we need. But giving myself space to strategize, plan, and prepare. The aspects that we have this week are exact today. They are 100% part of the full moon. So the energy is amplified there. So this week, excuse me, we had a couple aspects that I was really honing in on and considering. So Mercury in the sign of Virgo, which is its home sign, that's a place where Mercury is very, very comfortable, opposing Saturn in the sign of Pisces. We haven't talked a whole lot about Mercury lately. We definitely know about Mercury. We talk about Mercury quite a bit. We know that Mercury has to deal with our mind and our thoughts and our perceptions. We've also talked about how Mercury deals with like the tools and the resources that we need and that we have. I'm sure some of these things are starting to become a little bit more familiar with you, and if so, that's awesome. If not, that's okay. So Mercury in the sign of Virgo, in its in its grounded, earthly, feminine home sign, where it's very much, Virgo and Mercury in Virgo, and Virgo itself is very at least appearing to be like very well put together, right? It seems very organized. Virgo and Mercury likes to put things together. It likes to work with things. It likes to, put words together and ideas together and bringing them into a, something that can be useful, something that can be beneficial. Virgo is very can be very much about like using all parts of things and not being wasteful. It's more of the Mercury that wants to follow through with things and, see a task till the end and reap the benefits and the rewards of it, and see that come to fruition, where Mercury in its other home sign of Gemini is much more about maybe, say, like starting things or bringing ideas about. Virgo is that aspect of Mercury that is has more longevity, has more follow through on the end of it. So you have this very structurized Mercury, which is interesting for Mercury, because Mercury is the trickster. Mercury is the shapeshifter and the changeability. Mercury is the fastest moving planet. It changes phases most often. It meets the sun most often. So I find this to be a little bit this aspect to be just almost a little bit like, makes me chuckle a little bit, because you have Mercury, that moves very, very quickly, which Virgo does move quickly and is very, very efficient, but you have this idea of like the changeability and the shifting changeability, which you do find in the sign of Virgo. I'm not trying to say that you don't, but sometimes I feel like there's a little, like the ideal of the two of them are a little bit separated. They need to come together a little bit more. So, and then on the other hand, you have Saturn. So you have the Mercury, the planet that changes and can like quickly change its mind and adapt to something. And then you have on the other end of the opposition, you have Saturn. You have the planet of structure. You have the planet of boundaries and the planet that says no and limits you and holds you back from something. Where on the other hand, you have Mercury that comes up with ideas and organizes and, compartmentalizes and puts things together. And the two of these are in an opposition. They are at opposite ends of the chart. And what do oppositions do? They are polarization. So it's kind of like a magnet. Either they're going to pull together if you have them facing the right way, or they're going to repel and they're going to resist each other. So, seeing on one end, Mercury and Virgo are structured, organized, compartmentalized, and goal-oriented mind. Very grounded, very firm, very structured. And then on the other hand, you have Saturn, which is very much stable, very still, very fixed in its position, whatever that position may be. Even if Saturn thinks it's, we won't go that far. Saturn is very much, the rock solid concrete, like, the image I have coming to my head right now is like a cement gargoyle that just is immovable, and nothing is going to penetrate that, right? But Saturn is sitting in Pisces, sitting in a mutable sign, in a changeable sign, which Virgo is also a mutable sign. So you have this, on both ends, you have this aspect of changeability and this aspect of structure. So it feels like this really good balance of structure and changeability and movement with a firmness to it. It really feels like a time to do what our intention tells us to strategize, to prepare, and to plan. Okay? It feels like a great time to come up with ideas and write them down. It seems like a great idea to come up with a plan for whatever it is, the thing that you're bringing forward, the thing that you've been focusing on lately in meditation, or something new that you're coming up with. Or if you don't have a direction and know what your next plan is, it might be a good time to sit down and brainstorm that. Coming up with ideas and thoughts and brainstorming around structures and around things that you want to last long term, things that you want to be, things that are impenetrable, like that solid cement gargoyle. I feel like this is really a time to put things together there. And it's the full moon, guys, so we have the amplified energy there with that. And with the full moon too, full moons are always oppositions, and they're always, each opposition has its extreme differences, right? But when you have a full moon in Aquarius with the sun in Leo, you're working along the axis of the sun and Saturn. You're looking at the axis of of the sun, of the great light, of our ego, of our soul, of our essence, and the energy that just wants to burst forward. And on the other hand, you have Saturn. You have the energy that wants to have things a certain way. Where on the other hand, the sun is more like just ready to explode into anything. Think of Leo energy, right? Think of that, just that like childlike drive and jump into things. So we very much have this difference in this polarization of structure and creation, structure, Virgo, Saturn, sitting in opposite right now, right? And then creativity, you have Mercury, and you have the sign of Pisces. Now we're mixing up the two combinations there, so remember where everything's at. But do you see how it all kinds of flows together there? And I think that full moon in the where the sun is in its own domicile and the moon is in the domicile or home. Home is another word, another way we could call it. The home of Saturn. So you have this this archetypal yes and archetypal no, which is really, really great for contemplating things and balancing pros and cons of things, right? So I don't necessarily know that it's a great, I was going to say it's not necessarily a great time to like make big decisions, but because of Venus retrograde, but it's a good time to consider all ends of a decision. How about that? And this part of this lunation cycle that we're in is really, really going to help out with that. We also have Mars trining Jupiter. So Mars also in the sign of Virgo. We're coming into Virgo season here, so you're going to hear a lot more about Virgo. Moving on. We still got a little ways of Leo season, but we're working our way there. Mercury's in there. The sun will move in there. I don't want to talk about that because that means summer will be done. Anyways, Mars in the sign of Virgo, trining Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. We've talked a lot about Jupiter lately, especially being in Taurus with that square between Leo and Taurus. Now we're talking about a trine, okay? We're talking about a Jupiter-flavored aspect. Trines are of the nature of Jupiter, so they are they typically bring good things usually. They usually bring blessings and abundance. They usually bring things like wisdom. They usually bring something positive, some sort of knowledge, some sort of little light or something like that. And it's a trine to Jupiter. So Mars is trining Jupiter, the great benefic. Mars, the planet of action, the planet of drive and motivation, the planet of go, move forward. Not necessarily yes, we're putting that word with the sun today. This is more like go, and it's with, it's interacting with Jupiter. So it's interacting with the great wisdom of the universe, okay? So it's kind of like our action has this little extra source of information from source or the universe or from God or whatever it is, just this little bit of extra help and just this little insight that you might have. It brings a little bit of luck to this full moon and a little bit of just a little bit of like cheeriness and a little pep in your step compared to like this this Mercury Saturn thing that we're kind of talking about right now. So yeah, I really, really like this full moon. I like that the aspects are exact on the full moon. This week, I like that we are here for meditation on a full moon, so thank you so much for being here. I give myself space to strategize, plan, and prepare. That is our intention for this week. Lots of structure, a little bit of fluidity, a little bit of movement, a little bit of luck, okay? That's what we have looking at us this week, and I am so thankful and so fortunate to have that surrounding us. So, if this is the first time you've heard the intention, go ahead and think about that for just a moment if you haven't already. Intentions are released on Sunday, so that way you can spend a little time with it yourself before we meet if you'd like to. And our intentions are always inspired and provided by the aspects and energies in the sky around us. Here we look up to the sky, up to the heavens for just a little bit of guidance on our path. Not necessarily all the right yes and no answers here. Not trying to control our fate and destiny any more than we're able to. although living our best life and our best path within the life we have laid out before us. So, with that, and we will light our intentional candle. We're back to white. Last week we used a pink candle with rose quartz oil in it. Back to our white sage candles, still talking up the Stone Sanctuary shop on Etsy because her candles are the bomb, and I'm going to be ordering more for sure. She has lots of different essential oil candles, and they all smell, it's just the right amount of fragrance. Not too much and not too little. It's absolutely perfect. So, our white intentional candle here. Universal clarity and divine white light of Source, of Creator, of God, of the universe. Divine protection of yourself, whatever works for you. So we light our intentional candle, and you're going to see the flame ignite, and you're going to see the flame grow. And as the flame grows, so does our intention. I give myself space to strategize, plan, and prepare. I give myself space to strategize, plan, and prepare. I give myself space. I make space. I provide the space and the conditions for myself, for your individual self, to strategize, to plan, and prepare for whatever it is that comes next. Let's start this meditation with checking in with your body. Checking in with your energy level. Checking in with how you showed up here. Thank you for showing up here for yourself. Thank you for showing up for myself and everybody else in this circle. Lingering in the current conditions of your mind, body, and soul for just a moment, checking in with ourselves, checking in with our needs, and then as you start to deepen your breath, you start to feel slightly more relaxed. Slightly more at peace and slightly more at ease. Are you truly relaxed? Mercury in Virgo can be a little wound up, a little anxious, and a little busy. Sometimes that's needed, sometimes it's a little much. Are you grounded? Do you feel as though you literally and figuratively have 2 feet on the ground? Saturn in Pisces is a little bit more wobbly and a little more free-flowing than the Saturn we've been used to for the last several years. Feel the surface below you. Feel the contact points in your body touching the surface. The surface below you touches another and another, and it all leads back to Mother Earth. So through these touch points, you feel the weight of your body, the weight of your soul and your energy pull down towards the ground, solidifying you and stabilizing you, making you as sturdy as that cement gargoyle that is immovable. Are you taking the actions that you should be taking? This can be moment to moment, hour to hour, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. Mars in Virgo may be a little resistant to movement if it doesn't feel it's exactly right and exactly so. Are you allowing yourself to enjoy life's simple pleasures, letting yourself indulge in nice things occasionally without going overboard? So Jupiter in Taurus can definitely go overboard on the senses. Be mindful. Allow, but be mindful. This evaluation is not meant to have any negative effect on you as far as your motivation and encouragement of how far you've come. But a Virgo necessity to be more or less on the right path. Sometimes part of the planning and preparing is being brutally, truthfully honest. I strategize, plan, and prepare, considering all angles and aspects of my choices. What is coming to your mind that is good and positive, serves you well? And what things or ideas are coming to your mind that may not serve you in the highest possible way? You're not being critical, simply evaluating and assessing. Without judgment. Objectively assessing our thoughts and our actions and our motivations. Making space to strategize, to plan and prepare. Mars in the sign of Virgo, taking action to put things together, taking action to organize and to evaluate, make judgments as needed, only as needed. Trining Jupiter, a great benefic in the sign of Taurus. And the sign of the bull, the sign of Venus, immovable, solid, grounded Venusian bowl. May you move forward with a little extra insight and a little titch more of wisdom than you had before. Divine knowledge, divine intelligence, divine inspiration. May you welcome it into your being. I open myself to the universe, into the abundance the universe holds. I open myself to the universe and the abundance it holds. I should invite you to repeat that with me now. I open myself to the universe and the abundance that it holds. Oh, great teacher, Jupiter, help us move forward in enlightened action that propels us to our highest path, our highest good, takes us down the direction we need to go. Ask and you shall receive. The universe answers when we ask. You are open to the divine guidance and wisdom of the universe because you request it and you open yourself. Thank you for caring for yourself so much that you come here to listen. And today, the Aquarian moon at its peak brightness, its peak power, its peak influence, fully lighted and illuminated, fully held and supported by the sun. Because even in the place of darkness, even in the place of Saturn, place of rigidity, the sun holds, supports, and illuminates Mother Moon above us. Just as the universe and our soul and our loved ones on the other side always hold us and support us, even in the darkest location. The light is held overhead of you. The light of the sun, the light of the universe, the light of Source. You see it growing overhead, shining down on you and surrounding you in this protective, bright, brilliant light. So bright you can hardly see in front of you. The love and comfort of the sun. The protection of our mind, our ego, our spirit. Loved and held. This material, heavy, dense, worldly version of us for this lifetime, held and supported by the light of the universe, by the energy of the universe, and the light and the love of probably way, way beyond our comprehension. As this light continues to shine over you and energizes you, fills your energy levels so quick. You're so energized that you don't even realize that you've started walking forward until you are well on your way down the path in front of you, moving along at a nice, brisk, chipper speed, ready for anything that comes your way. And as you walk forward, on your left-hand side, you see the sun on the eastern horizon, shining bright, beautiful, fiery energy. And then you look over onto the right side of you. And on the western horizon, you see the moon, fully illuminated. That moon, illuminated, yet surrounded by darkness. That sun, bright, illuminating, and breathtaking. You see the two of them on either side of you, and you walk. Continue on your path in front of you, walking straight forward between the Leo moon that roars like the lions, bright as royal, and the moon in Aquarius, in the water sign of Saturn. Reaching towards that ideal and wanting nothing less. A illumination in a ever vast pit of darkness. And as you walk through, you feel the support of both. You feel the strength of both the sun and the moon. You feel the love and the support. You feel the history. You feel the future. Now, as we continue walking, it appears that the path has twisted because the sun is directly in front of us and the moon is directly behind you. The moon, your foundation, your memories, your roots, your ancestral path and karma behind you as you move forward towards the sun, towards your future, towards the illumination of the world and of your soul, to enlightenment and knowledge, yet softness. I give myself space to strategize, plan, and prepare. It's okay to not be moving full speed all the time. It's okay and beneficial to stop, consider, lay out a plan that you can follow through with. Mercury in Virgo. Taking the proactive steps and not waiting until that evaluation is upon us. to figure out what is and what isn't working. And as you continue on down your path, take note of how quickly and easily you're walking. You're almost skipping down your path. The energy, excitement, enthusiasm within you builds and grows. And all of a sudden, your path comes to a patch of beautiful wildflowers. Many, many colors, many shapes and sizes. The beauty of the earth in front of you. And before coming back to this place and time where your body is physically, you yell, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you," to the ethers, to the universe, out over the wildflowers. Thank you for the support. And thank you, every one of you, for showing up here for yourself. That's the first step. So let's go ahead and take one big, nice, collective deep breath in together. And as you exhale, release anything that may have come up within your session today. Anything that no longer serves you, that your body and your mind and your soul says, hey, purge that. And when you feel as though you've exhaled all the air you possibly can, you feel a sense of ease and a sense of relaxation come over your body. And then slowly opening your eyes, taking as much time as you need to. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me here. As always, I appreciate you being here for the support, like I say, for myself, for the others, for yourself, for all of us. Excuse me. So you can look next Sunday for a new intention for next week, and I will see you here next Tuesday. As always, reach out anytime. Hello to all of you that said hi in the comments and your wonderful, nice gestures. Thank you for being here. Have a great night.